Hey and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we'll look at the Cranier Power 12.8 volt 300 amp hour battery. It has 3840 watt hours in total. It's lithium iron phosphate, and that's how you receive it. Well, that's how I received it, without this. Well, it's a little dirty. I'll tell you in the video more about it. It also comes with the bolts here. It also comes with a little pouch like this one, and it has a little quick information spreadsheet right here, as well as a little more in-depth user manual right here. So let's get started with the specification. Speaking of the specification, you can see here we have the nominal voltage, the capacity, we have the max load power, which they put here in watt, 2560. When we divide this by 12.8, we have 200 amps, so it says maximum charge current, that's also 200 amps. Then we have the maximum energy, what's stored in this battery, 3840 watt hours, and we have prismatic cells. The BMS is able to up to 200 amp, at least I guess in both directions. And we can see down here, charge performance 200 amp, discharge maximum continuous discharge 200 amps even, and then there's a peak of 320. BMS discharge cutoff current at 320. And the voltage at 10 volts. So quite impressive numbers if you ask me. It is a fairly small housing if you look at this. Again, here are the measurements in inches. And yeah, we have M8 terminals. So let's get started with some capacity test. And then I wanted to use this battery actually for something else, so you can skip forward if you want to. I wanted to use this battery for my AC, which video up there. We installed a video. We installed a rooftop AC, 12 volt rooftop AC in RV and a fifth wheel, and we were using this battery to power it. So pretty cool. Skip forward if you want to, and let's also take it apart today, because we have to know what's in here. So we'll see how that goes. And before we do that, actually, it is for P4S, so you can put 4 in parallel, 4 in series. So that's what they label, by the way, right there. Maximum batteries in connection. Alrighty, let's get started. So 0.2C rate would be around 60 amp. Oh yeah, I think that is a really good result, if you ask me. 331 amp hour in the Cranier Power battery. So capacity test was successful. I hope you can see that. Now we'll continue with the high discharge test, and remember up to 200 amp hours continuous. So that's quite good value. So remember this 200 amp BMS. Recommended charge current is 60 amp and maximum charge current is 200. Same applies to the max continuous discharge is 200. And the peak discharge current is 320. So let's see what happens after we do it with 200 amps, a little bit more hopefully, for a certain time. So that means I'll plug in a couple chargers, a couple other items, just to make sure we're getting some load in here. Should not be a problem at all. The battery is, by the way, fully charged. There we go. 1 amp. Yeah, looks like that's not a problem at all. Checking the temperature here of everything that's running. It's usually running 2-gauge wires. That all seems to be pretty good. And there's usually the inverter, which will start beeping because it's a low voltage situation below 11, so it tells us that the inverter stops here, but you can see that 200, a little bit over 200, no issue whatsoever. So guess what? This Cranier battery 300 amp hour. It's doing a great job to power the AC. 12 volt here from Mods Pioneer. There's a video out there as well. But this one actually does a great job powering that one up. So you saw the capacity test. You saw this one is capable of actually having more than 300 amp hour stored capacity. It's a smart battery, and therefore it does a great job. And this AC, by the way, needs between 30 and 60 amp, and that's just for reference. So great use case. You're correct, we're taking it apart, or at least we're opening up the battery and see what's inside, try to see what's inside. Besides that, it's a smart battery. This battery looks pretty similar to the watt cycle battery from the dimensions and from the housing. I'm curious how it looks inside, so let's open this one up. Alrighty, here we are. That's not what I'm talking about, but that's what it looks like. Seems to be a JBD BMS or something like that. At least it looks like. If it is, I do not know. So that means we have a BMS, we have some cables here, and honestly they are like in all directions. Okay, so we have the negative, main negative on the battery cells here with 9 wires. And this is crimped all to 1, going over here into 3. Very interesting method to spread them out, definitely. We have 3 here and 6 over here because those are 2 locks. That's the battery side, then battery negative, and then we have the terminal negative here, same constellation, and those crimps seem to be pretty okay. If you ask me, the cable management is with zip tie, with glue. There's glue on this one, there's no glue blobs on here, there's nothing here, but there's glue on those sides. Oh, where it should tie into this epoxy board, which is just glued on everything else. As you can see, the glue blob over here. Then we have those main, or everything 9 of those wires going to main negative terminal right there. And then we have 9 positive, main positive from the cells and the battery pack to the terminal as well. And there's no glue blob up here. Still, the crimp seems to be pretty fine, but I've never seen those 12 gauge wires in this constellation. It makes it a little bit more messy here, especially because now they are uneven spread over. You know, they have 3 wires and 6 wires over those 2 terminals. So yeah, quite interesting. And we can see prismatic cells. I can see that there is in those, a term for you, there is laser welded terminals. There's a hum in here, which is bent to the cells itself. We see there's epoxy board in between. We have 4 cells in total separated, and we have foam and glue around so it doesn't move around. Okay, let me know in the comment section what you think about this piece of art. And then we have a temperature sensor. It looks like the temperature sensor is going onto the cell somewhere glued underneath. It's just one here. Alrighty, so we have the battery over here, and we have the temperature sensor right there. We got it out for your reference. Here was glued. Here you see the batteries. I do not see the QR code. It's covered pretty well. By the way, the epoxy board stops here. There's no here, and there's no on this side. And yeah, just in between the cells, but it's still good. Let me plug in the charger. Additionally, I have the app open so you can see really what's happening. Right now we're charging, hopefully in a second, and there it is. And there it is, charge under temperature protection. It stopped the charge. It did not stop. It did not stop the discharge, so that's good. Let's see when it comes back. Continues. We have the temperature here at, ooh, yeah, quite cold, huh? Up there, it's heating up. Yep. Temperature is rising. Still below 0. Should come up pretty quick. And protection is off. There we go. It continues to charge. Well, it should. There we go. And this is related to my charger, most likely. That I had that happen a couple times already, that it just doesn't see, oh yeah, I'm still having enough voltage, so I don't need to charge. It's a high state of charge, to be honest. Alrighty, now you have seen this part as well. Low temperature, C protection. Low temperature, cool protection. Low temperature cutoff protection. It has some kind of low temperature protection. That's good. Charging. Right, low temperature charging protection. There we go. That protection is also included. Same with smart. Green air power. 12.8 volts, 300 amp hour battery. Build quality is different than from the watt cycle what I've seen so far. I hope you enjoyed that video. Thanks for watching. Cheers!